Elvis Presley's granddaughter Riley Keough is expressing her desires at Graceland. Everyone has been unable to access Graceland's second floor for nearly 50 years due to strict security measures. Strictly no guests, no cameras, and no exceptions. What lies beyond that second floor? Was it something more than a simple temple? A hidden conduit beneath the surface of the ground? Some unplayed tooth? It was situated on a peaceful plot of land surrounded by expansive fields. Although it was not fancy, no room did a better job of telling that. When it comes to the number of visitors, this house is right up there with the White House. However, despite numerous tours and performances, the upper floor has consistently been off limits, the true sanctuary of Elvis. What Riley discovered beyond that final locked door is the catalyst for the plot to heat up. On the second level, Riley discovered the locked door. For a long time, the staircase leading to the second floor of Graceland was more than simply a wall. Between people's knowledge of the past and their personal sorrow, there has been a line. No tour guides have ever crossed it. There is no camera mounted on the back of it. No one has set foot on that entire floor since Elvis Presley's death on August 16, 1977. It is still visible to Riley Keough. Being Elvis's granddaughter, she got to spend some time as a little girl exploring Graceland. Just above them, a whole world was frozen in time, and tourists came and went, oblivious to it. Despite being instructed not to touch anything, she could still feel the air, the silence, and the peculiar solace of a spot that had been preserved in its original state. Someone has made his bed. In the wardrobe, you can find his garments. There has been no movement on the clock atop the bed since the ambulance arrived. There was a worn-out Bible on one table with handwritten notes. There were medicine bottles on the other side, some of which appeared to be half full. Under the bed, Riley discovered a shoebox with the words, "Do not open," written in large letters. I found letters inside that Elvis never sent. The intended recipient was Lisa Marie. On another, the words, "To whoever finds this after I'm gone," were typed. There were bookshelves stacked with tomes on religion, numerology, and spirituality in the dimly lit room. He kept this library under wraps. The pages were covered in scribbled notes. On other pages, what appeared to be a frenzied stream of consciousness read like a notebook full of prayer. The word "free" appeared repeatedly on one. According to Riley, those rooms don't feel like visiting a relic when you walk through them. Entering that recollection is like entering an endless tale. None of Elvis's admirers saw these chambers as contributing to his most outlandish theory, the tunnel theory. Was Elvis the one who decided to leave on his own? Elvis Presley's death in the upstairs laboratory is not universally believed. So much so that some of his admirers act as if he were still alive. Elvis Presley's supposed faked death and subsequent escape through a tunnel beneath Graceland is one of many wild theories that have circulated regarding the mansion for decades. Some people think it's plausible due to years of strange clues, unsettling silence, and unexplained sightings, even though it sounds like a plot from a Hollywood thriller. Speculation abounds regarding the existence of a tunnel beneath Graceland, extending from the main house to the rear of the property and beyond. I don't understand. An escape route as a means of evading the cameras, to perhaps vanish entirely. The actions of Elvis Presley in the 1970s are cited by those who hold this view. Regular tours were no longer attended by him. He avoided the limelight, had bug sweeps come to his house, and eventually relocated nearly all of his possessions to Graceland's second floor. Some people think it was deliberate planning rather than merely being alone. Something about John Burroughs followed. Elvis was spotted boarding a plane in Memphis just 1 year after he was believed to have passed away. He had used the same alias for hotel check-ins. Unpredictable occurrence, I suppose so. However, many more people saw it in subsequent years. Elvis in a Burger King in Texas. Elvis attended a performance in Nevada featuring impersonators. When asked for his name, even Elvis went to a California DMV and paid with cash, saying, "That's not important." After that, we have the tombstone. Elvis Presley's middle name was Aaron, although the plaque reads Aaron. Some interpret it as a message indicating that the concealed corpse is not his. No evidence has been presented formally. According to the official plans, there is no tunnel. Nothing was ever proven in terms of a picture. The Presleys, however, have never explicitly denied the rumor. Riley, though, unrealistic storylines will not pique her interest. On the other hand, her statement about what's upstairs being real and stronger than truth was crystal clear. He appears to be still there. The truth that Riley holds within. Riley Keough has never heard of tunnels or staged deaths. However, she does discuss a more powerful matter, the overwhelming sense that her grandfather is upstairs with her. Her words were, "It's like he never left." His clothes, records, and books by his bed are all still there. "Smells nice, that cologne. It's as if he's inside the walls." The rooms on the second floor are not museum pieces. They are time capsules that were sealed not for privacy, but out of respect. She will withhold information regarding the room where Elvis passed away, the bathroom. No one has ever messed with it. The linens are still in their original state. Riley describes it as a sacred space where memories and grief converge. While most people are aware of one room, there is another that is crucial but little known. They refer to it as the quiet room among the children. It is Elvis's personal meditation spot, and you can find it at the end of the second floor hallway. In this room, you can find floor seating, low lighting, and the gentle hum of a sound system. Riley saw it as his most sincere quality, not the performance. Unlike the image, this man still wishes he could escape the bustle of his own home. Lisa Marie's death left Riley with more than just her home. Along with the burden of a legacy came the need to make a decision. She resented opening doors but was eager to begin a conversation. What happened next would make it even stranger. Battles for control of a kingdom. The unseen power struggles. Graceland was reclaimed by Riley Keough in 2023. Litigation ensued. It was no silent relocation. Riley played a role that few could have predicted following the unexpected death of Lisa Marie Presley, the head of a wealthy family business and caretaker of a world-renowned landmark. Additionally, an issue arose nearly immediately. Priscilla Presley, who was Elvis's ex-wife and Lisa Marie's mother, opposed a 2016 amendment to the trust that granted Riley authority. The case was quickly resolved outside of court. Still, it demonstrated something that outsiders didn't always get. The Presley effect is strategic as well as emotional. There's the brand, the intellectual property, the real estate, the licensing deals, and the control of the company's global image. Riley, who is just 34 years old, is now the boss. She's also very active at work. She collaborates directly with preservation specialists, reviews exhibit concepts, and grants approval for historical projects. Digital projects overseen by her ensure the forensic accuracy of the preservation of all evidence pertaining to Elvis Presley, including his handwritten songs, notes, and private letters. Nevertheless, Riley is now involved in more than just business. He is actively shaping the story in order to comprehend Elvis, not to peddle him. By her own admission, Graceland is more than a museum, a reflection of the man narrating the story. It is alive and well. That can only be accomplished by standing up for what is genuine, including the unsavory, personal, and painful aspects of Elvis' career. Following in the footsteps of her mother and grandpa, Riley remained silent whenever rumors arose regarding unnamed heirs claiming Presley ancestry. This is due to the fact that in a chaotic environment, silence often speaks louder than words. The unnamed heirs. Are other people descended from Elvis Presley? Speculation about Elvis Presley's possible undiscovered children has persisted for decades. Some of these assertions are extremely outlandish, such as the idea that there is evidence of striking similarities in DNA, birth certificates, or even photographs. While some of these tales reach the courts, the majority wind up in tabloids. A man's attempt to have Elvis's remains exhumed for scientific study was rejected. As proof of paternity, another individual submitted a hair sample, purportedly from an auction purchase lock of Elvis's hair. It was promptly discarded by the estate. Strong DNA, an unmistakable chain of custody, and irrefutable proof are essential for child recognition. Before they can be proven, many claims crumble. Many Elvis admirers believe that prior to and after his marriage to Priscilla, Elvis dated other women throughout the 50s and 60s. Certain women's names keep popping up in fan theories and online communities. They claim to have received hush money or personal messages from the king. These rumors have never been discussed publicly by Riley and Lisa Marie. That stillness conveys so much. If a real Presley child comes forward, Riley, not a judge, will decide what should happen next. That much is certain. Are Elvis's upstairs vocals still audible from the misplaced recordings? For decades, Elvis's legion of admirers has pondered the following question: what if he recorded unreleased songs and left them behind? His final studio sessions were held in Graceland's Jungle Room in 1976. He allegedly had more recordings, including unfinished takes, late-night piano ballads, and very personal songs that he never intended for the public to hear, according to his close friends and relatives. Over the years, rumors have circulated that Elvis's tapes have gone missing. While some were blatantly false, others were trickier. It was discovered in the 1990s that the voice on a phony tape titled "This Is Goodbye" belonged to someone else, but the song itself caused quite a sensation. The fact that those with knowledge are remaining silent only adds to the mystery, as do these bootlegs. Elvis Presley's archive is still very much under wraps, in contrast to the vaults of other musicians whose unreleased songs have been sold off. According to Riley Keough, a significant portion of the upstairs materials, including books, papers, and possibly even cassettes, have never been digitized or reviewed. Several unidentified tapes and a reel-to-reel player were discovered in Elvis's upstairs study, according to an anonymous former estate worker. Although there is no evidence, no visuals, and no official word on the matter, it is consistent with what is known. Elvis frequently recorded solo sessions where he would doodle lyrics and melodies and experience fleeting moments of inspiration. For his own benefit, not that of his friends, his director Felton Jarvis once dropped a hint. He had some special tapes made for him. Some people may never hear them. Perhaps that was Elvis's desire. The thing that this globally recognized man may have desired to conceal the most was what no one ever knew about him. Perhaps that is the objective. Not every door needs to be opened. Not every secret needs to be revealed. Respecting the life of another person requires learning to let go of some aspects of it. But now we know that even with the door locked, there was activity inside. To what do you attribute Elvis's greatest desire to avoid harm? Leave a comment with your opinions. Like, follow, and subscribe, and bell not nuggle if you would like to see more stories like this.